Only people with no brain think of everything as black and white. Hey everyone, what's going on? It is a very snowy Saturday. This is the road in front of my house. This was not taken by me, by the way. It was taken by my neighbor, but yeah, you get the idea. I'm not going anywhere. So I was just cruising the internet after playing with my kid, and I kept running into this one thing, this interview with Sydney Sweeny. You know, it says, of course, because everybody's getting on this political kick with her. I'm not a political person, I'm in the arts, I'm not here to speak on politics. I was like, oh, yeah, that's refreshing. That's new. Then I run into this tweet, I guess we still call them tweets, I don't know, by Kylie Chung. We'll get into this in a second. The concept of the arts not being political. She may be clinically stupid. I'm sorry. Huh? What? No, I'm not going to say for a second that the arts can't be political. I mean, that's pretty fucking obvious. But to say art is inherently political, I don't understand for the life of me. So I went over to this person's account and I started looking around, and you know, I was wanting to see if she quantified this. One thing she posted, because apparently this is political. I don't know. It's Snoopy and Friends that she reposted that birds think Snoopy is interesting. I'm not sure what political statement we're making here, but it is a comic strip and it is considered art. So, you know, if that's the case, all art is political, this is a really strong political statement that I don't get. But of course, no, this was never quantified or qualified in any way, shape, or form. And of course, she had everybody locked out. The only people that could respond was, you know, people she named in the tweet. Why do people do that? Oh yeah, they don't want to face the heat from the shit they say. So I went to the original tweet, and I just decided, okay, let me see if I can get an understanding of what people are talking about here. Because I'm not a guy who jumps the gun and when somebody says something stupid, I do actually want to see what the point of view is in something. And you got to keep in mind too, I'm not a political person. I don't jump on to catchphrases and all that bullshit. I mean, I think that's just bullshit to keep us divided. I popped into Pop Base here, which is pulling from Cosmopolitan, which I think is pulling from Variety. I'm not positive how this chain of events worked out. I just kept seeing this popping up over and over, and it just kind of fascinated me. I'm like, okay, what is this? And so I did go down a minor rabbit hole. This one, the protagonist. Okay. You're an NPC, but I'm sorry. That's too easy. Art is political. Okay, can we quantify this, please? And has it mean politics doesn't interest you? Why? Because I have no interest in changing the world that suits you so well. No, that's not why. It's because there is no options, but I'm not going to get into that right now. Okay, I'm going to try to avoid being political as much as I can in this conversation. I went down the list, and you know, this person responded to that with saying, art is whatever it wants to be. If you perceive that art is political, it's because you're political, not the art. The witch hunter sees heresy everywhere. I thought that was a pretty good one. I really did. The protagonist did not answer this. This was a direct response to the protagonist. But yeah, I mean, no kind of defense, no kind of anything. Just, let me say what I'm saying, and da-da-da. Now this, Mateo Knowles said, I'm not a political person, I'm in the arts. Tells me you've never stepped foot in a theater production, drama class, choir, or band room. You're not an artist, you're a fraud. Again, does not quantify this, does not defend this in any way. So I continue to work with this and try to find where the basis of these statements are coming from. There's another one. Christo says, I believe we should all love each other and have respect and understanding for one another. That is 100% a political statement. Is it Christo? Someone says something back, not inherently political statement. Christo tries to defend it a little bit. All I can say is not very well. That's a political value. Now there aren't always partisan values. That makes no sense. But something doesn't stop being political if everyone agrees. Not everything's political, dude. And, you know, people, pretty much there was a bunch of responses that Could be a moral statement, etc., etc. And he never defends it again. And then there's my shin, I don't know. What, doesn't you realize all art is political? By political, I mean repeating all familiar slogans to reinforce my previously held ideological beliefs and never challenge me or make me think in any way. Why is she doing that? Somebody make her. And I was almost like, is this a joke? Because this feels like a joke. This feels like humor. Like, somebody make her be political. Because that's what I'm seeing is like, no, you have to be political. There's no way you cannot be political. So after some searches, and I went down a rabbit hole with this, finally found this dude. This Shane guy says, tell her what? Another guy said, anyone want to tell her? It's like, what the fuck? And finally, Mr. Shane said, George Orwell said or wrote, all art has a political purpose or something like that. You'll have to Google it. Okay, let's do some Googling. Okay, so yeah, this took some digging. And it was on Goodreads I found, and I'd forgotten about this. I remembered this when I found it. It was George Orwell wrote a bunch of essays called All Art is Propaganda, Critical Essays. The closest one I found was this one. In our age, there's no such thing as keeping out of politics. All issues are political issues. All politics itself is a mass of lies, evasions, folly, hatred, and schizophrenia. When the general atmosphere is bad, language must suffer. I should expect to find this is a guess, at which I have not sufficient knowledge to verify. I want to point that out, that the German, Russian, and Italian languages are all deteriorated in the last 10 or 15 years as a result of dictatorship. Okay, but he hasn't got insufficient knowledge to verify that the language has deteriorated as a result of dictatorships. Yeah, But, George Orwell, I like George Orwell's work, don't get me wrong. I am a big fan. But that doesn't make him the authority of art and how it is to be interpreted. He's a good artist. You know what? So was Van Gogh. You know what Van Gogh said? All art is personal and does not suffer from the whims of people's personal views or political views. Now I'm going to drop you a little secret. Did Van Gogh say that? It sounds reasonable, doesn't it? George Orwell is free to have his thoughts on that. Don't get me wrong. I would never say anything to the contrary. But that does not mean he's the authority on everything art. Again, great artist, but he's not to be all in on. I bet if I researched hard enough, and I started to do it for this, and I said, no, I'm gone down rabbit hole far enough. So people are pulling this quote by George Orwell and making it fact. When even George Orwell himself said some of the things he was talking about, like language deteriorating, he did not have the sufficient knowledge to back that up. So again, take that for what you will. I personally think it means it's an opinion. One that you may be able to quantify, one you may be able to bring some factual information to, but still an opinion. I am of the opinion that no, art is not inherently political, because Snoopy, with birds finding him interesting, I can't find a political message in that. I've looked. I can't see it. If you all see it, tell me. Maybe we can have a conversation about it. I don't, and I'm not going to make it an issue. I fucking don't care. What I do care about, sometimes, it's just like, I have to explain myself here. I don't give a flying fuck if it's Gina Carano or if it's Mark Ruffalo. I don't want to fucking hear your politics all the time. I don't care if it's Tim Allen or Tim Robbins. I don't fucking care. You guys are entertainers. I'm here for the entertainment. The argument that all art is political, it's a very weak one. You have one authority saying it. I could probably pull out a dozen authorities that would say otherwise. I know all art is subjective, so there you go. Boom. That pretty much destroys that freaking quote. To sit here and call someone stupid because they think art is not inherently political. And we're talking acting. I mean, your role might be political, but that doesn't mean you are political. And that doesn't mean, Lord, the examples of people playing against their political beliefs in the history of freaking television, let alone movies, is astounding. And yet it's done all the time. But to me, she says she doesn't want to be political. And it's almost like half the internet is melting down and screaming, but you have to be. Remember that quote from back here. Somebody make her. That's what I'm pulling from that, is somebody make her be political. I could be wrong, I don't know. I don't think I am. But really, I really think this is a symptom of we are so lost in the us versus them mentality that you have to base everything on politics. And to me, I'm just like, let it go, Elsa. Some of us do not make red versus blue a defining aspect of our personality. Politics is not a bit of my personality. Because I'm so sick of both sides. None of them care about any of us. It's become very apparent to me in the past decade that we are on our own. And the best we can do is just try to get through every day and be alright. And you know what? I'm so sick of politics in my entertainment, which is supposed to be distracting me from the goddamn bullshit that is going on right now. And this came up recently, and people are like, oh, you must be a MAGA, however. And that's your problem. You fucking can't think anywhere beyond, well, they must be a libertard or a MAGA. They can't be anything else. Nothing else. Then again, there are fucking idiots who walk around and they say, oh, G.I. Joe and Action Force, they're political toy lines just because they are. Why? Because they're military? I mean, my dad always taught me, even if you 100% disagree with the policies that put a soldier in a combat situation, that doesn't mean you take it out on the soldier. And I don't know where that shit got fucked up. The political issue is the policies that put the person in combat. It's stupid anyway. Because stupid people can't see past their red versus blue mentality. And it doesn't matter what I say or do, because somebody's going to take what I say and make it as an endorsement for one side or the other, and probably follow up with a bunch of stupid ass cuss words and catchphrases. Get your fucking politics out of my goddamn distraction. I'm so sick and fucking tired of it. And I'm not even a Sydney Sweeny fan. And I'm actually sitting here sticking up for her. And you know, it's a little depressing knowing that, you know, when I unleash this video, someone's going to take it as an endorsement for one side or the other. And yeah, whatever. Because you don't have the capacity to get beyond a black and white issue that is not black and white. But whatever, do with it what you will. I've said my piece. Thank you for watching. Take care.